Thursday night went so well on stream with hours and hours of endless entertainment that we decided to do it all over again. That's right, it's the latest Late Limbs episode with myself and Mr. Smuts ready to entertain, quiz, and apparently this week, deep dive into the history of the Super League. There has been God knows how many transfers. There's been 3 weeks of in-game time where just about every reserve player has either wanted a new contract or has excelled in training. And, we've actually had lives to live as well. So let's catch up on everything with me and my co-host. Good evening, sir.
Evening. Welcome back. I'm here again. Exactly. That means only one thing. I have been banished to basically the outside, the Conservatory of Doom, the absolute snow palace, frozen tundra that is my conservatory. So I need to wrap up warm. And for the second time this week, past my bedtime, it's after 9 o'clock and I'm still awake, just about. And we're raring to go. Can we please have a bit more entertainment tonight? Because Thursday was fucking shit.
Well, that depends on, us, I suppose, because this is all on us. We don't have a computer game to blame for what entertainment we've got. Let's do the usual then and have a little catch up. It's been 2 weeks now since we last recorded. So tell the world what's new.
I should really be prepared for this bit because it's the bit where I've actually lived life. But honestly, my little one is started preschool full time. I say full time. He's 15 hours a week, and I've postponed starting a new old job, internal rather than working from home, so that I could walk him to school. And honestly,
what's first day of school like? Talk us through it.
I don't know who cried more, him or me, really. It was pretty. We ripped the band-aid off quick. It was a case of, look, rather than us hanging around and prolonging the pain, just throw him through the door. They're the experts. Let them deal with it. And by all accounts, he was an absolute superstar. He cried for a few minutes and then cracked on with it. And I cannot say the same for myself and my wife. We got home, sat in silence next to each other, and just
waited for pickup time.
Waited for the 3 hours until it was pickup time. Yeah, it was brutal.
I did get sent a picture of him in his school uniform a couple of weeks ago. Cutest little thing. Don't worry, I haven't plumbed it into here to show it up on the screen.
No. It's not me you need to worry about if you've done that. My wife.
Well, it's not me that keeps name dropping her.
Exactly, but she knows where you live.
She does.
Whether you're using them testes or not, it will not be as nicely medically polite as my vasectomy will be in a couple of weeks' time.
Although, as I said to you,
they'll be shorn from your body,
whether
you like it or not.
As I said to you when you told me you were getting the old snip done, I said, well, it might just be nice to have some attention down there. You never know, it might be worth it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. I'll be honest.
So we've got.
Did I do anything else other than that?
So we've got Play School. We've got a new job starting as well.
A new old job, yeah. We will be working together again, yeah, as it were.
Together again, we're gonna be working together again.
Yeah, I say working together. We'll be working in the same industry.
We're going to be competing.
Supplier and customer. No, not if I got anything to do with it. I only came back on the proviso that I am fully in charge of the UK. So I will have zero interest in competing with you, as I didn't the last time I was there.
You just want my business.
Yes. Well, not yours.
Well, it's not my business for you to win this time. It's my colleagues.
Exactly. Yeah. So I should be round to see you at your place of work soon enough, I'm sure. It's touting for business.
Does that mean Does that mean I might be able to get some supplier customer meals out soon on the old expenses?
Of course. Yeah.
Right, I'll let you know when I'm booking tickets for Madam Web.
Did we not have this discussion recently as well, that because you keep buying the cinema tickets, that you get for free, and I forget every single time. I make a point of not letting you buy the food. So I'm like, no, you've got the tickets, I've got the food.
Yeah, but you see, it's different now because it'll be on expenses.
Exactly, yeah. So the dynamic won't change. You'll still get the free tickets. I'll just get free food this time instead. Yeah.
Hey. I like it. Yeah, we went to see Argyle the other day.
We did. Yeah, it's really good.
Decent, to be fair.
I think the most impressive thing about it was when we got there and the certificate for what film we were watching came up. I moved across to you, sort of leaned across to you and said, "I thought we were watching Madam Web." I got the wrong film. I knew we were watching two films. I didn't know which one was first and which one was. I wasn't that fussed. I just happened to be out of the house.
Madam Web, which isn't even out for 2 weeks.
I famously, between the two of us, refuse to watch trailers nowadays because they just ruin the entire fucking film. So all I needed to know about the film that we went to watch, Argyle, was that it was directed by Matthew Vaughn. And some of the people in it were great. I love Sam Rockwell. John Cena was in it as well, which is...
I'll tell you what, it's not a spoiler to say however much John Cena and Henry Cavill got paid for that film was about fucking $2 million too much for how much they were in it.
It was a bargain for them. I just saw maybe 5 seconds of the trailer. I think, did you watch the trailer when we went to watch something else and went, yes, we definitely want to see that? Yeah. Fine.
No, that's true. That's happened. And of course, it's now got you a new name for your list of 5 because I've been home from the cinema all of about 7 minutes, and I got a message, of course, saying, and I'm okay saying this because I know Mrs. S doesn't watch these. Was that Dua Lipa in the start of the film? I didn't realise how fit she was.
Yeah, I honestly...
Dua Lipa, sorry.
I wouldn't have recognised her. I basically got home and I was like, I tell you what, that bird at the start, and that was so. As soon as the word bird came out of my mouth, I thought just ill then, and I apologise. Hashtag feminism
for all our female viewers.
Yeah, hashtag feminism.
We stand with the sisterhood.
I as I usually do, I find out. I thought I recognise her from something. Must have recognised her from something. Presumably some sort of wet dream that I was having. I could not have. If you'd have put a gun to my head and said, "Who is this woman?" Not a chance. Not a chance. But Dua Lipa is a name I have seen, and I know that she does her music.
She does.
I couldn't have told you that it was either a person or a band. But she's very nice to look at. Very, very nice to look at. And it was an enjoyable start to the film.
Excellent. Anything else for us to catch up with on your life?
My life, it's the same as every day, mate. It's kids crying, not sleeping, crying, and then rinse and repeat. So no, which is why I have been vicariously living my life through you since I've met you.
Well, yes. So at the minute we are dealing with a poorly teenager who's soon to have a birthday, and I am 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks away from said celebration. Still have zero idea what to get him. I have an absolute crisis of confidence here as a parent because I ask him, he doesn't want anything. I have ideas, and they just, I subtly mention what these ideas are, and it doesn't go very well. So I've got 2.5 weeks, and I have no idea.
Is this the reason that my wife is going to London with you to watch a show?
What? Because I have no idea. Yeah, so Aidan decided last year that what he'd like to do is have a bit of a tradition of going to watch a show for his birthday every year. So last year, me and him went down to watch Wicked, and this year he chose Frozen. I happened to mention it to Lady S, and she said that she's been wanting to watch it, but no one will go with her.
She elbowed her way into the proceedings. Yeah,
nah, not at all. She said if Aidan wouldn't mind, so I asked him, and he said no, that's fine. So there's going to be me, Aidan, my brother, and your wife all down watching Frozen in a couple of weeks in London.
An absolute crew, yeah. And I get left holding the baby literally.
Well, this is why I take you out so often, so that every now and then I can take your other half out instead.
Yeah, it's fair. As we said on a couple of shows ago, yeah, instead of our Valentine's plans for this week are very much a case of, can we just date Fyfie instead? That'd be better.
I'm readily available.
I think, to be honest, both of us will have a very similar plan this year on Valentine's Day. As I know, we are both very recent converts to the Sidemen YouTube peoples.
Yeah, and their Netflix special.
Exactly, they have a documentary coming out on Netflix on Valentine's Day that I'm sure both of us will be watching at some point.
Although then again, maybe we just go into the group chat, whether it's with me, you, and Mrs. S, or me, you, Mrs. S, and Mrs. S's friend, and we just do another 50 of the most raunchy would you rathers just for entertainment purposes.
Very, very much could do. In fairness, getting a bit of Jackbox action, or
yes, get Jackbox back out. That's what we did Christmas. If it's good enough for Christmas Eve, it's good enough for Valentine's Day.
Exactly. Yeah, I think, to be honest, there's going to be no intimacy between me and my wife, so I'm more than happy to, as I said, live vicariously through you.
I want to discuss some recent sporting action, but if I may.
Oh, is that the late limbs in the Swindon game earlier today?
No. I don't want to discuss that football shit.
I didn't think you would.
I don't know why. It's easy for you to gloat when your team wins every week, isn't it?
Yeah,
I didn't hear quite as much from you when you were getting relegated from the Premier League.
Yeah, I was bored of that as well.
No,
completed football, as I've said multiple times.
I was flicking through Facebook, and as you know, I'm not a rugby fan. It's not my game of choice. But I saw a video that amused me quite a lot.
You post on it, yeah.
Yes, from the under-20 Six Nations, I think it was. And it was England v Wales. And the lady referee called the two captains over. And she did the immortal words that whether it's rugby, football, life in general, you don't want to hear. She said, "I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed."
It was so supply teacher that you're in trouble.
Both these like 6 foot plus muscular guys just looking like they were going to cry because this referee wasn't angry, was just disappointed in them.
Yeah, if you'd have taken the rugby aspect out of it and you just shown me those 3 people in a thumbnail,
stepmom and 2 brothers,
that would have been a very specific genre of internet video that I'm sure we've both seen plenty of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a reason you've got one very strong right arm. And your wrist doesn't crack when you move it around. It
actually does. It actually does. Ironically, my left one doesn't crack. It's my right one that does.
It's just overuse. Repeat RSI from. There we go. Let's go back to the Sidemen. Less KSI, more RSI. I've done a joke, everybody.
Wow. Well, we've hopefully got some interesting discussion points tonight. I know that you've been doing a deep dive into the history of the Super League. In case of emergency, break glass. I found that on my desk this whole time I've had a pack of football quiz cards.
Excellent. We could probably do with them for Ross coming on and hosting the quiz with us week today, in fact.
Indeed. One more thing from the world of sports and entertainment. I don't imagine for 1 minute you've seen this, but it's been all over the internet. Were you ever a fan of what is now WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the chaos that's happened this week? And I'm not talking about the Vince McMahon stuff.
I was going to say I saw the chaos that happened last week.
No. So they're doing they're starting their promo for this year's WrestleMania, and they've had The Rock back involved, and just obviously it's all a work, but they're kind of bordering on getting back to sort of the Attitude Era that we would have grown up with, because he's just out of nowhere slapped this other guy across the face, nearly started a fight, and then showed a backstage bit where he's told Triple H to say, he's gone up to Triple H and just said, "You tell him to talk about my family again, I'll knock his fucking teeth down his throat if he does it again." He's going.
Well, aren't most of his family in the ring anyway? Isn't Roman Reigns his cousin?
That's it. So that's what it was all about.
Fair enough.
It was so they were building up towards, as I understand it, they were building up towards Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania, but the way they built it hasn't gone very well with the fans. They wanted Cody Rhodes to face Reigns, and so they did this whole family graphic and stuff. And they're always talking about Cody Rhodes' dad, and so Cody Rhodes started talking about their grandfather and stuff. And the Rock just full on bitch slapped him around the face.
Fair play. Hang on. Well, what I was going to do then, and that could be an interesting, as I'm live producing this again, as you can see, that could be something quite interesting, as has just finished. And I know you mentioned on a previous stream that you watched the Royal Rumble and live.
We did.
Reacted.
Yes.
To it.
I'm part of a. Through Fools, I obviously get to meet people from other podcasts, and one of them have diversified, and they allow me to jump on and be part of their wrestling coverage. So we sat and watched the whole Royal Rumble together the other week. That's long, by the way. That's you need a nap for that, because that's a midnight till 5 a.m. job.
Yeah, the whole event would be there's 2 Rumbles now, isn't there? There's the women's one, and
the women's Rumble was much better than the men's Rumble this year.
Was it? Usually, I watch the Rumble every year. It's never really in January. It's usually at some point when I go, oh, I quite like that Royal Rumble, and then I never really recognise anybody nowadays until they throw in a random old
wrestler from the 90s,
years gone by. Yeah, exactly. So that could be, if that is something that you are interested in, we could. As I've got it up on screen right now, we can share that screen. We can guess at the last, or the winners of every Royal Rumble.
Oof. The earliest ones I would struggle with.
I think that's where I'd be better at. So. What we'll do is we'll take it in turns. I'll let you.
How far does it go
first.
Up to?
1988, the first one. Yeah, right up until 2024. So the women's and men's this year. So, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll let you guess first.
Cody Rhodes.
Obviously, wouldn't last the last one as well. And I will go with Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I know he won at least 2.
Shawn Michaels won 2, I think.
Previous 2. The Rock famously won 1.
Yeah, when he didn't actually win. John Cena won at least 1.
He's won 2. That one in the middle there is Vince McMahon.
Drew McIntyre.
He's Scottish. I think you remember him. Randy Orton.
Brock Lesnar must have won 1.
He's won 2. That's quite far apart, in fairness. Batista from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's won a couple.
Bailey.
women's ones and are incorrect.
Bayley. She won this year.
You are correct. There you go. If we do women's ones, then Ronda Rousey must have won one. Yes.
Becky Lynch.
If we're going
Irish,
she won the
first one.
We're going Sheamus.
I'm probably better off just knocking all the women's ones out of the way, aren't we? Because you're not going to know. Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. So there's 3 women's ones left, and we reckon I'm not going to get any of them.
Well, no, you might do, but you just don't seem as confident on the women's ones.
I'm gonna do one better than just getting the women's ones. I'm gonna get a men's one and a women one with the surname Flair, because Charlotte and Rick would have both won it.
Good work. Who else would have won the women's ones?
I actually know.
Sasha Banks.
No.
Oh, okay. She didn't.
But Bianca Belair.
Belair definitely did. Is that all the women's ones now? Screen's too small for me to read.
No, there's another women's one.
Okay. The one is that before Becky Lynch won?
The first women's one, yeah.
Who won the first women's one? Oh, who did win the first women's one? Who's the other 4 horsewomen? Banks, Bayley, Flair. Oh no, they've all done it. Paige? No, she'd stopped by then. I'll come back to that one. Where are we on the men's list? Oh, we're running out of time as well. Hogan must have won one of the early ones.
Yeah, I think he won the 3rd or 4th one. I'll tell you who won the first one. One of the Super League members, Hacksaw Craig Duggan.
He did.
Let me know if you're struggling, because I've got another one off the top of my head.
Triple H must have won one. He won a title, I think.
The Edge has won a couple.
Yeah, Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio did.
I think he won from number 1.
From number 1, yeah. Yeah, he did. CM Punk would have not won one.
I don't think he has, no.
There we go. So we've both got one wrong each.
Roman Reigns has definitely won one.
He has. What's the fucking long head other member of that group?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, him. Thanks for giving me that one.
See, that one before Becky Lynch is bothering me because I can't think who would have won it. Naomi didn't win it. What's the other MMA woman's name?
I've just thought of another one. We've run out of time. Bret Hart.
Yeah, definitely. What's the other MMA woman's name? Can't think what her name is. Edge, Sheamus. Who else would have been that era? Did Undertaker ever win one?
Yeah, of course he did. Kane has never won one.
No.
Did Mike Savage win one? No, apparently not. Just looking at the 90s.
Yeah, 90s we're struggling with here, isn't it?
Monsoon? Did Monsoon win it? No.
I'm gutted that we're going to just fall short here.
Done fairly well.
Did Bray Wyatt win one?
No chance. 2004. Oh, I can tell you won that one. Ryan Aldred, everybody, well done.
Chris Jericho win one?
I don't think so. No.
Miz?
I said the Miz. I didn't think he'd won one. No. 3 seconds.
I can't believe I can't remember who won. Trish Stratus won the first women's one.
No, she didn't.
She came back and won it, I'm sure.
Asuka.
Oscar. Of course she did. Yeah, she was undefeated at the time.
And Shinsuke
and Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah.
I wouldn't have got Del Rio even after you said Paige. To be fair, I'm not
disappointed with that.
Disappointed in missing them.
I would never have got the second one. Never ever got the second one.
Big Johnston.
Do you know what? I was trying to remember Yokozuna's name because he's the massive Japanese guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think I got that him and Monsoon mixed up.
When you said Monsoon, that's who I was thinking. I forgot all about Del Rio, and I probably should have got Oscar. I forget about Nakamura.
Even though he is on Champ Manager.
On Champ, yeah.
There we go. And you've got your first day, you go, fucking 27 minutes in it. Fucking sake.
Should we talk some Super League?
Do we have to?
Yeah, why not? So,
0-0. There you go. That's the end of it. Oh, and I won.
Results then. You oversaw this absolute shit show of an episode.
Honestly, it was after the first game, I'm pretty sure I just spaced out. It was painful.
3 nils out of 7 is poor.
And our resident statistician and newest Hall of Fame member, Mr. Swanee, confirmed my suspicions that it was indeed the lowest scoring round of Super League fixtures of all time, beating the 9 late on in season 13, I think he said, to 8 goals. This I'm more interested in.
Australia, their next game is not for 70 days, so there'll be a fair amount of squad movement since then. I know, for example, the way it is at the moment, Conseco can't play anymore, Inzaghi can't play anymore. I don't think Perry can play anymore, among others. But during the 3-week winter break that I've just processed through, there was a game with Ivory Coast, which Australia did win 5-1. As it was a friendly, everyone got a game. Decent performance as well. But obviously everyone expects these games to kind of be a walkover, which they are. So it's more about who's doing what here. Got 2 goals for Johan Almanda. But there's a couple of players now who are really starting to prove a point. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've told you that Placente has to play.
He's not going to get in ahead of Zé Roberto.
Roque Jr. scored. I know that Mike was discussing his possible inclusion in the squad at some point. Sean Davies has been unbelievable at international level. I mean, look at this. Since I've come in, 7 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, and an 8.71 rating. And he's not made a single appearance. I mean, even in the reserves, look, 8 appearances, 5 goals. Wow. Macca, if you ever happen to watch Limbs, please get Sean Davis in your first team.
Well,
or sell him to someone who'll use him.
I'm going to say, unfortunately, it looks like he will be potentially having a new manager. He will be having a new manager next season, Sean Davis, and potentially getting played a bit more. So we'll see.
Michael Ballack, a 10 out of 10 performance for him as well. There's a couple of Fosro players. Oya's one of yours as well, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
2 international caps, 1 goal, 2 assists.
9 out of 10.
Yeah. But you still weren't playing?
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant that the players are getting run out and are doing well, especially Foss Road players. But I don't necessarily believe that the level of competition that you're playing against lends itself to success in the Super League.
One, you can only beat what's in front of you.
Yeah, of course.
But and 2, if
Ivory Coast players, or Super League players, I know they're probably not going to do quite as well against Super League players.
Equally, I would say there's a lot of players here that are a lot better than a lot of players, not just in Super League squads, but Super League first teams.
I don't disagree that certainly some of them would be, to be honest, at least 2 of the 3 Foss Road players there would get in some of the other teams. the problem here is that Placente and Uya are not Zeriberto and Brett Emerton.
No, but they could easily be the backup options.
They all are backup options.
Are they? So Zeriberto was injured and Placente replaced him, did he?
Last season he did. I just forgot he was in the reserves this season. So I just put Liverani there.
We've been processing, or I say I've been processing the transfers. So let's have a quick look at who everyone's done. So at Sloths, Thomas Rosicki is coming.
I don't think we need to do too much on these transfers because we did do that on Thursday, and it was the only thing that we had to talk about. Because
but we can actually look at the players now. Rivaldo's come in and Cambiaso's come in. Obviously, I'm a big Cambiaso fan. As a package, forgetting whether they're stronger or weaker, as a package, do you think these players improve Sloths?
Rivaldo and Cambiaso, certainly. I mean, without even thinking who else he has lost or who else he's got there, Rivaldo and Cambiaso are both really good players. Certainly could be in first team squad.
I mean, this list is outrageous. Exiles, I mean, the less said about this one, the better for me. But Vieri, Crespo and Figo all coming in at the same time on paper is a scary prospect.
Exactly, yeah. I'm hoping I've already played him twice, so I don't have to play
him. Fulchester.
Again, do we really need to keep clicking through like this? Can you not just look
left-hand corner? I forget this is here. Vogel and Anelka are very... These, do you know what? When these were confirmed, I thought these are Macca additions. This sits right with me.
Yeah, very good. I mean, you look at all of them. That's 2, 3, 4 strikers he's brought in. And somehow none of them are scoring.
Badgers haven't done anything yet, but I have had confirmation of a deal tonight with LSK. Gianna Cheddar going to Jamie with Nakata coming in to Tato.
I'll give you the same response that I did 5 seconds before we started when you told me that deal had just gone through. Fuck me, Tato's down bad if that is the only deal he's managed to get done. Desperate to do a deal, and he's done that. He's brought Hidetoshi Nakata in.
Mm-hmm. Dudley are looking for goals. They've added Salas, Keane, Constantinou, and then got their out of league finally over the line, Frank de Boer signing.
Yeah. They got the De Boer brothers in. Are they twins? I didn't realise they were twins, in fairness. I don't think I cared either way, whether they were twins or not.
Are they twins?
If you click on Frank de Boer, again, 15th of the 5th, 1970, then top left-hand corner again. Why do you click so many buttons? The other De Boer surely should be there. Why is he not?
No, because he's not. He's in the reserve team.
In the reserves. There you go. Right. Just click Dudley.
That's why I was clicking. What was I doing?
Same button. Top left-hand corner. Oh, God, I hate not being in control of everything.
Here he is.
15th of 5th, 1970. There you go. Born on the same day, same surname, same mum. Yeah, probably twins.
Dudley... Coast, obviously some big additions here. So D'Alessandro, normally a half-decent acquisition, but very much under the radar when you've added Ronaldinho and Luciano Zauri to the squad.
Yeah. Big loss in Javier Zanetti has got Luciano Zauri straight in there.
Your heart bleeds for him.
Yeah, Didums. It's not It's not the same when Riquelme got the same level of injury. 3 months, and I've just got nobody to replace him.
I brought in Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, well, he was not supposed to be replacing fucking Riquelme, but it sort of by default. Tried Alex, hasn't really worked. Ryan Magnoli, Dan brought to my attention as, and I quote, the
Poor man's Riquelme.
Bargain, yeah, poor. I think he's called him the bargain basement or the little Riquelme. Little Leandro. And having seen him on home saves, he looks really good. He's got all of the same sort of qualities that Riquelme has: creativity, passing, everything. If you click on him, he has none of that in this one.
The irony, I'm refuting this here because I sent you a screenshot of him.
And I didn't look at his screenshot at any point, and let Dan make the decision. And the difference between him and Sean Davis that Vikings have brought in is fucking nut. In fact, can you do it as a 2-player comparison?
So between him and who, sorry?
And Sean Davis at Vikings. Why? Why are you still doing it that way?
He's not at Vikings.
No, not that. Sean
Davies.
Yeah.
Sure.
Simon Davies is what I meant, in fairness, yeah.
That's why I was going to Fulchester.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. It's quite a lot of red there, isn't it? 6 better creativity, 5 better passing. Yeah. What's our one better at? Crossing.
Reflexes.
Finishing, dribbling. Yeah.
Crossing. Technique. Agility? Pace?
Yeah, not a lot important, is there?
All the big stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see. He got a 7 out of 10. He did all right in his debut.
Before we talk about Haggis, if don't mind me asking, why have you only done the one deal? The only one you could get done, or lack of interest?
Yeah, the only one I could get done. I was in lengthy discussions with Alf, who wanted Liverani, an old Rocket Sloths player by all accounts. And our valuations were wildly different, to put it politely.
Okay. Haggis, obviously...
nothing else that my value meets anybody else's, really.
Veron's obviously the big name on the Haggis list, but Zenden's addition has come at a timely moment because Monterribio has just gone out injured for a month.
Oh, has he? I think so.
Shows how much you've been paying attention to the socials today.
I did see that he was injured. I didn't see it was for a month.
Well, it only gets posted if it's a month or more.
Oh, does it? Oh, fair enough. I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean, Zenden's a huge upgrade on whoever that guy is anyway.
Oh, don't! I hope Scott doesn't listen to this episode because he's a big fan.
Yeah, but isn't he also a big fan of Davy Collins? Well, and Leeds, so all of his points are moot.
Iker Casillas won't get another red card all season because he's now joined Northern Burn substitute bench.
Yeah, he could still get a red card, in all honesty, if Buffon gets injured or suspended.
Sancte have added Owen, Stam, Kuhl. They've got to be favourites for a top 6 spot now, surely. From like I mean, they're in 6th going into the next round of fixtures. Obviously, take out the likes of your Vikings, which are already at the top and stuff. But of that middle of the road pack, they've got to be favourites for those sorts of additions.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Have we finished all the transfers now?
I think we've got 3 more teams left.
Cool. I mean, if you have a quick look at the league, anywhere from 4th down to 11th have a genuine shot at getting into the top 6.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
That is mad. Badgers have sort of lost a bit of form. Stanley still churning out the results. I think they're probably the most likely. They're in the best position.
Badgers, if Badgers could just turn some of those defeats into draws, they would be in such a healthier position. But they win or they lose. They don't do anything else.
Well, exactly the same as me. It's literally he's got one more win, and I drew that game. The difference was he won that game. I drew that game. If you look at the 1-7, drew 1, lost 6. I've won 6, drew 2, lost 6. So it's similar to Badgers. I either win or I lose. There's no in between.
Yours is also dependent pretty much on where you're playing.
Well, yeah.
I suppose his is as well, actually.
Yeah, in fairness, his home form mirrors mine somewhat as well.
We'll come back to league table in a minute. Sancte, we did Slough. Stackington. I've added Emerson, Given, Takinardi, and Costa. Takinardi's the only one there that significantly improves them, in my opinion.
I think Rui Costa should be a starter for them as well, and will do. I think he's better than Seedorf that he sent the other way, but he's only got this season in him. Maybe next at a push.
Stackington have spent 144 million in this season.
Yeah, it's not bad effort.
Monopoly money, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we spoke about Stanley, didn't we? Just Clarence Seedorf added, and Vikings have added Brujik and Patzazoglu to their table-topping side. I like those additions, and I think Vikings will be very good this year. Just a quick flick then. Home league table. No. Keep an eye out on East Coast there.
Second and third. Yeah.
Just keep an eye out on East Coast. They look like down in 6th, but still undefeated at home.
Yeah, it's not a bad effort.
Not at all.
Even Sancte have only been beat once at home. Same as Northern first. Interesting.
And nobody is without a win at home, which you'd expect.
That Los Santos home form is horrific.
How you can be that bad at home, I don't know. Away record.
It's all the way down that bottom is interesting.
Away record, Fulchester, LSK and Stackington all yet to register a win away from home. Vikings still unbeaten away from home.
And Haggis have got a very, very good away from home form as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. And East Coast in 6th there as well.
Couldn't be any more mid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be fascinating to see what happens. We've passed halfway now. Every game matters. How are you feeling at sort of halfway? Are you believing top 6 is there for you?
Well, if you sort of cast your mind back to the not last episode, the last episode of this that we recorded, that wasn't the game night.
Yeah.
I said I've got 4 home games, and realistically, 6 is the minimum amount of points I can get.
Yep.
But I need to be looking at double figures if I'm going to be looking towards the playoff places. But those 4 home games were fucking tough. You take LSK out of the equation just because they are at the bottom end of the table. I think they would, that had to be 3 points regardless, and they were probably the fucking worst I played out of the 4 games. Just about snuck that one across the line. But I'd lost 2 of the other. So of those 3 games I played before East Coast 2 nights ago,
yeah,
I'd lost against Bern. I lost against Haggis. They're the 2 of the top 3 teams. Mm-hmm. In fact, are they 2nd and 3rd behind Vikings?
Yep.
There you go. Not on the face of it bad losses, because you would have expected to lose them regardless of whether I'm home or away.
Okay.
But going into the East Coast game, which is the one I highlighted on the pod a couple of weeks ago as being the one, I've got no chance of winning that one. I'd never beat Temple. Not a chance. It's done. It's over. So I in my head, it was, I'm only going to get 3 points. I was looking, I needed double figures, 6 minimum. I'm only going to get 3. So my incredulity and I can't speak in that game on comms was completely I had no intention of winning that game at all. I don't know how it happened. I don't understand the game at all. It's ridiculous. because of that, I've now got a chance to look upwards because of the other results around it. That minimum of 6 points that I said I had to get doesn't look as bad.
No.
On the flip side to that, all of those 0-0s last night, if you pop them back up on screen, if you don't mind, 2 of those 0-0s were fucking massive for the teams. So those 2 teams I said, Haggis and Burn, and Vikings, sorry, as the top 3 teams. Haggis can take out the equation because they were playing Los Santos, but Burn and Vikings drew 0-0 against Sancte and Badgers. Badgers away from home are a different beast to what they are at home, same as me. So that's a really fucking good point for Badgers. Sancte against Vikings, that's a really fucking good point. Both of those are points that neither of those 2 teams would have expected to get. In 5th and 6th, that's good for playoff chasing teams. And for teams like myself, in that chasing pack outside of the playoff, it was great to get a scalp of East Coast, who are now in 7th and within a point of myself. It was really good to get a scalp of somebody in that chasing pack, same as me. But as good as my result is, yay, those 2 Badgers and Sancte results look really, really good, but are hidden away in the fact that that is the worst night of Super League action ever.
Of course, away from that, as we've passed the halfway stage, talks are starting to begin about what happens, already for next season. People starting to talk about it, plans being made. We know that 2 managers in Tato and Maka have already said that they're not going to be carrying on. We've only had sort of a handful say that they will, while others are waiting to find out what it will look like before deciding. And we're kind of in an odd situation now because it's not a clear plan in terms of what happens next. And obviously, I'm waiting for at least one person to come forward and say they've got a plan to take over. It doesn't seem to be forthcoming yet, which kind of then leaves it with me as to whether it carries on or not, which is a lot of kind of pressure on one person to do that. But of course, equally, it also means that in the back of my mind, I'm starting to have to put plans in place for what it would look like if I was to carry on doing it. But you don't want to kind of manifest that out there because people just be like, he will carry on doing it. So regardless, and then we'll be sat here in another 5 years' time, me still doing it.
Still being the chairman, yeah. Well, if you look at the history of the Super League, and that does a little bit roll us into one of our next topics.
Yep.
Seamless professionalism. If you look back in the history, the only previous chairman still involved is yourself, and to a much, much smaller extent, Martin. Because 2 of the others have sort of left in disgrace, one more visibly than the other. And I think I'm probably missing a chairman there somewhere in Legends who started it all off, but has pretty much let it go out into the world and released it, and has got no interest in sort of returning to it. Am I missing another chairman in there anywhere?
Well, you got the Steerco lads.
Oh yeah, they don't count. They're still around, but they the way that the Super League has had to be pushed towards because of a vocal minority, it kind of has to be a chairman now. I wouldn't have called Steerco a chairmanship. It was a necessity. It was a right, well, somebody's got to fucking stream the thing and do the admin. And 4 heads at that point, better than 1.
Yeah.
And you, as the one, would suggest, I expect, I don't want to put words in your mouth, I don't want to put anything in your mouth, that 4 heads is probably better than 1.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's not dwell on that now. There's plenty of weeks ahead of us. We got what, 7 weeks of regular gameplay left before the playoffs, and by then everything should look clearer. Should we jump into our deep dive into Super League history?
Yeah, well, I've been messaging you a little bit this week because I spoke to Swanee and picked up the first iteration, the save of the first iteration of Super League that he had available. As I was looking for sort of content for the podcast, realistically, and one of the questions I'd been asked for Tenable was who are the top 10 Super League goal scorers of all time.
Okay.
And couldn't answer that question because that data isn't available, because it's all broken up into different saves. We don't have that answer available. Swanee does his statistics based on the teams and the managers because that is a tangible. He can hold that. He can see that based on the streams, and where he's been watching it from season 5 onwards. So he's got season 1 to 4. He got that from Boise, and it was interesting for me. And I've been sending you some screenshots back and forwards, looking at that when you were a manager there, and boy, were you shit initially.
What do you mean? Were I continue to be shit
for a couple of seasons? Yeah, you made your mistakes clearly. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to do a little deep dive for you. Swindon Devils, This Is Your Life style. Look back over your initial managerial career in the Super League.
Bottom is all you need to say. Just bottom.
Well, that was one of the questions I asked you just before we started. Where did you finish in the first season? Because it can't have been very high.
I'm sure my first 4 seasons was something like 13th, 14th, and 7th.
And I think at least one of those was too high.
And ironically, the one where I finished 7th was the first year where I actually started getting half decent results. And with 2 games to go, I was 6th. And that's where I first made the mistake of I had a couple of players who were a yellow away from suspension. So I decided to rest them in case they were needed for the last game. And I lost it, put them back in for the last game, lost it again, and went out of the playoffs on the last day.
So do you know where you finished in season 4? So the final iteration of the final season of this initial iteration, first save?
I'm sure that's the year I finished 7th.
Incorrect. I can tell you, considering I sent you the screenshot of this earlier today, if you want to pop up the screen that I'm sharing there, you finished 9th in the Super League. And looking at it, we're nowhere near on the last day of the season.
It's not the season I thought it was.
Some interesting teams here. Do you know who the managers were for these? Well,
So,
Hallow was obviously
Hallow was Boise.
Some thick-looking circles now. Interesting that formation that won the initial iteration is very much in vogue again at the minute.
Yeah.
Cyclical.
Hodgson was a lad named Craig.
Yeah.
I think. And I really I liked him, and I really liked his teams. Very, very good.
Yeah, looks decent to me. Gerardo Torrado being in there is very interesting to see. That's a player I really like.
There'll be a lot of players that don't get look-ins anymore.
Yeah. Jesus, that's a lot of goalkeepers.
Yeah. Stackington season 4, had Alf come in by then? No, because he took Stackington and then Asta. I think it might have been Alf. Would explain all the goalkeepers. Oh yeah, that's Alf.
That would also very much lend itself to Alf. Interesting that Hoffland's there as well.
That's because he's class.
Yeah, I'm big fan of Hoffland. Timor Shamrocks.
Timor Shamrocks was no. Timor was the Irish guy who was the bookie. Like the actual bookie, not the Super League bookie.
Okay. So we unmasked the Super League bookie.
It's going to bug me that I can't remember what his name is. We had a couple of run-ins, but he was actually a nice guy. I for the most part, got on quite well with him. I can't think what his name is.
Decent looking formation, to be fair. Might steal that one.
Then again, because he's playing that 3 up top, I don't remember Kieran having them. But that was his formation at... What did he rename his side? So Rapid Apollo was a guy from Sweden whose name... He was the... Remember I was talking about the GIF the other day? He was the one that did it. He was the one that brought this GIF into the Super League. And he played... the year he was really successful, he played what we call the pineapple, which was kind of Alf-esque.
There's an Alf Central version, Stapenhill. Sean Davis.
Oh, now, hang on. Did Alf make them the Stapenhill dinosaurs, not the Stackington dinosaurs? No, he was definitely Stackington. Which would mean Stapenhill was... Fucking hell. What's that? Wait, hang on. Well, go back. One at
the back team.
Yeah, that's Palmer. No, stick on the league table for a minute.
Sorry.
Right, they weren't in it then. So I'm going to guess Stapenhill was Kieran before he was then able to change his name to something he wanted.
Gotcha.
That would be Mr. Edwards.
I was going to say, do we do this? Because I've got a feeling I know who the manager for that team is.
Yeah, that tactic looks familiar, doesn't it?
Very un-Edwards-esque formation. Why has he not dropped an AMC back there? Michael LeMay, Patrick Anderson.
His B-Tech team was fucking terrible when he came.
Yeah, Cherno Samba. Robbie Keane up front, Jonas London.
I think so. If I remember rightly, you can't remember. This is years ago now, not just in Super League, but actual physical years.
2017, yeah.
He was afforded, like people were being generous with transfers because they were that bad. And I think the thing with Cherno Samba was that the view was for the league to carry on, so he was trying to get him experience to boost his numbers. I mean, look at that, Samba and Gorselin and Leon Knight.
Yeah, Martin Eriksson, love that. Yeah, Rocket Sloths. Was that Martin at that point? No, Liverani's there, so that might have been. Can't have been out, surely not. Why have I got most of these players? Say Franca, Liverani, Denilson I had, Del Piero I had.
It might have been Martin. It might have been mine because he then took over from Boise, so it would make sense that it was mine. Hooligans.
Very central team, no.
Hooligans.
A lot of centralised tactics here. That's decentralised tactic as well.
So Hooligans is what is now Vikings.
Good, yeah.
It was... because it was interesting. It was the Brazilian guy. No, it was the Brazilian guy Thiago who was in charge of hooligans, and then Jens took over Maine Vikings. And they had this sort of not bromance as such, but chemistry, because Jens's miss is obviously South American.
Fair play.
Football monologue was Jamie.
Was it?
Yep. That's why Swindon Devils and football monologue was always the big game. In fact, if we scroll down on his squad at the minute, at that point, had we done the big? So yes, that was the year we did the big transfer. I think I gave him Van Nistelrooy, and I took Samuel Eto'o because I'd had Van Nistelrooy from the start. He would not score for me, just would not score. And I said that Samuel Eto'o would get more than Van Nistelrooy that season, or was it the season before?
Looks like the season before. Yeah.
Maybe the season before then. But yeah, I exchanged. Exchanged Eto'o.
There you go.
There he is.
Season 2 then.
Yeah, I exchanged Eto'o for Van Nistelrooy because he just wouldn't score for me.
It's not bad. No, he got rid of Einar.
He had a decent squad at that point, Jamie.
So he brought in Nobby Solano and Ruud Van Nistelrooy.
Montella, Bowyer. So
he had Bowyer from early doors. Interesting. There you go. But as is, this is your life, Swindon Devils. So look at the state of your final squad.
Well, you say that, but let me just point some stuff out here, okay? Seb Frey, always a legend for me. Like, always the go-to number one.
Stayed with you all 4 iterations.
every time.
Iteration as well.
Mark Goodlad, who I then brought back in as one of my Fyfie players and had in Small Horse and Swamp. Christian Diaz, another one that I've had times. Cambiasso. I mean, look at that. Eric Addo, a player that I speak. I mean, there's Eto'o there. Where's the year he got 12? There he is.
Yeah, did all right that year.
Yeah, good player. If people give him a run out, he's a good player. Who else have got? Big Steve McPhee there as well. Barry Ferguson.
Moved around a bit.
Big Steve McPhee, Arnold Brujink. This was Brujink before I was proven right. I kept saying what a player this boy could be, and no one believed me until Dimble did it properly.
I mean, that's not horrific. Across 2 pretty much full season, well, 3/4 of season. Over 7 is not horrific.
Who's in my reserve squad?
Well, it looks like they've fucked about the reserve squad quite a bit and just put a bunch of randoms. Tom Daly's in there for some reason.
Yeah, no, that was at the point before we built huge squads.
Yeah, Joe Cole in there as well. But let's do this as I said, this is your life-esque effort. So let's merge our favourites. And we'll stop sharing that screen and we will start sharing the late limbs tenable screen. So, Fyfie, what were the first 10? That's
horrific. That is horrific. Fucking hell. I can't even remember how many transfers we were allowed to do. I mean, it'll be half of that squad you were just showing me. So
yeah, that's why it's not on screen anymore.
So Frey, I pretty much had the tightest bramble I imagine I had from the start. Mexes.
Philip Mexes. Let's have a look at my notes in front of me. You've lost the life already.
Yeah, no, I figured that no one else would have had him, so I would have brought him in myself. I need to think about who I wouldn't have had. So Diaz would have been mine. Who else did I have? Ferdinand was a transfer.
Is that a guess? One of your first 10 transfers?
Was it one of my first 10? Who did I swap him for? He was definitely on that squad list, though. Zlatan
Ibrahimovic is...
Thing is, that squad list season 4, isn't it?
It is.
I don't think I would have had him for 2 years. 3 years, even.
Oh, was that not an answer?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, it was wrong. I've just showed you that it was wrong as well.
Right. Well, we know that Eto'o was in season 2. So let's go Eto'o.
Samuel Eto'o is correct. Your 7th transfer.
I mean, this could literally be any players in the world at this point. Cambiasso.
That we've just seen was with you in all 4 seasons.
No.
I've even given you plenty of hints by giving you the opportunity to have a look through. Far more than you probably should have done. Come on, this was only 7 years ago, Fyfie. Come on, you should be remembered.
This is an outrageous question, by the way.
I will say you have named at least 2 of the players on this list in the multiple names that you just mentioned.
See, did I have Solano at one point and then move him on again?
Well, we just saw Jamie bring him in from Newcastle.
Yeah, see, I've had him at some point, but it's different iterations. Right, let's go Brujink then.
Arnold Brujink is...
He was mine from the start. Go on, tell me he was mine from the start. Oh, we know he was mine from the start. I fucking saw it on the screen.
He was indeed yours from the start, so...
Go on then, tell me who my first 10 transfers were then.
I've only taken 2 lives off you. You've got a 3rd life and then a sudden death as well, as the real Tenable works. So think about all those players that you've said.
So I don't think I actually got Ferdinand until I got him from Hodgie, and that was much later, so it can't be him. And did I even get Ferdinand? No, that was Nesta. When did I get Ferdinand? Have I had Ferdinand?
Neither of them are right, so ignore them.
Mate, this is ridiculous, asking me what champ transfers I did 7 years ago. Balak.
Is incorrect.
Shock.
Michael Balak was brought in from Hooligans to Interior in season 4.
Yeah, I was just trying anything, I think, to freshen up the squad that year.
Only played 6 games for you. Scored 3, had 2 assists.
What a
8
player.
out of 10 average rated, so it's not a bad return.
You'll notice a lot of these players are who make my Australia squad now because I know I can trust them to do a job.
Yep.
Because no one else plays them in the Super League anymore. Okay, let's just say...
Some fucking wild names on this list, by the way.
Heskey.
No. All
Excellent.
gone.
Thank God this round's over.
You've had an absolute fucking shocker then.
No, there's the right. Okay, who did you sign 7 years ago on a random home save?
I could probably give you that answer.
No, you couldn't. Shut up.
I almost certainly could because
you only ever signed the same players.
This sort of time frame would have been when I did my
I really
Ajax
don't care. Let's
1995 Champions League challenge, and it's still unbeaten in terms of points on the forum. So, your first signing ever in the Super League, Robert Perez.
Okay.
And one of these players that you mentioned repeatedly, Roy McCartney.
What player?
Was your second signing in the Super League. And then your third and final signing in Season 1 in the Super League, Bobo Balde.
What player?
Why?
Couldn't defend, I was bottom of the league.
Season 2, to improve your defence, you brought in Nicholas Dabazas.
Nikos Dabazas.
Well, he was. Yeah, I'll give you that. And then another name that you mentioned, Christian Diaz. And again, you really need to improve that defence. So you bring in Titus Bramble, of course.
Go on, big tip, Bramble.
And then to round out your top 10 signings, still in Season 2, by the way, you brought in the man, the myth, the legend, Tonton Zola Mokoko.
Of course I did.
Why is that not red? And then just sort of rummaged around in the Arsenal reserves and brought in Junichi Inamoto.
See, I was going to say Inamoto, but I thought I drafted him Season 1.
And also
what
Franny
player
Jeffers.
Inamoto is, by the way, well underrated. Franny Jeffers.
Also brought in Franny Jeffers, yeah. And I don't think many of them did anything. Let's have a look. Balde played 21 games in Season 3 for you, but fuck all else. Roy Mackay, as we said, did really well for you. Perez fucked off out of the league to Leeds, but did play 24 games for you. Scored 9, got 9 assists, so did quite well actually for you in that first season. The 11th signing you made, by the way, was the only other player that you signed in Season 2, Gareth Southgate.
I don't even remember ever having Gareth Southgate.
He didn't play a single game for you, so
doesn't surprise me.
You don't remember. Nikos Dabizas played 8 games for you. That was fucking rubbish. Christian Diaz was there right till the end, but didn't do much by the look of it. 30 games in total for you. Titus Bramble played 24 games too many. Eto, we said, did really well in that one season where he scored 12. Zola Mokoko played 13 games for you in Season 2. 10 games the following season. Really should not have played at any point. That's terrible. Junichi Inamoto played 13 games for you in total. Was fucking rubbish. And Franny Jeffers was playing. You sold to Corinthians in Brazil after 1 game.
Class.
And in fairness, he scored 11 goals in 17 games that season for Corinthians. Got 5 assists as well. All of this does go to show why you brought in a transfer expert when you were at Gazelles, doesn't it?
I'll leave that one there, I think.
To be fair, I'm not convinced I can tell you my... And it was only last season. I'm not convinced I could tell you my first 10 transfers in the Super League.
No? Do you want me to check it?
I'll tell you what, let's do that. You can get your own back. Like Dave Benson Phillips.
Okay, so players in. I've got them on the list. So last season was your first season as manager.
Yeah. So this is within the last 6.
And you signed 15 players over the course of that season.
Did I? Okay, right. So the problem I've got here is I made a lot of post-draft transfers, so I don't know which were in season and which were pre-draft or post-draft, but pre-season transfers. That's going to be difficult. I definitely brought in season 1, Rafael van der Vaart.
Yeah, he's number 4.
Brilliant. In that same deal with you, I also bought in. Fuck. Who else did I bring in? Well, I'm on the same number as you already, so that's a good start. Did I bring Michael Owen in, or did I start with Michael Owen? Or did Owen come in as part of the Saviola deal? Oh, fuck knows. Let's have a think. Who would I have done deals with? Start from the back. So Hoffland, Arson started with. Nick Matulin would have been before the season. Carini, Hector Fabian Carini. Was that in the first 10 from Northern Burn? Yeah, Carini. I'm going to go with.
He was number 10.
There we go. So then that would have been before. Was that after Ruggiero? No, let's not bother with that one. Was Helguera before that? Was that this season? No, that was this season. I brought him in. Franca, I brought in from Steve.
Is that an actual guess?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2?
Number 2, is that the second transfer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who else did I bring him in Van der Vaart? So I sent you Nedved, did I?
It was literally like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't slept at all since then.
No, you fuck right off. You've just asked me about 7 years
rested,
ago.
and you've been well rested in those 7 years. Right, come on, let's do some out wild left field suggestions instead then. Rakoba. That would have been one.
No.
No, was it not? Was that before the draft then? That's annoying. With Jens. Fuck. Who came from you with the fucking...
I mean, I'm shocked you haven't got that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's annoying me, if I'm honest.
All this sort of empty space of no noise is really good for people listening.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Well, I tell you, I've already beat you with the 3 or 4 that I've got.
Okay.
I'll
so
guess
you're giving
at
up?
I'll guess at Ruggiero as well. I'm just going to try and get rid of my lives because I know I brought him in.
number 6.
Okay, brilliant. I brought him in from Tato when I accidentally got rid of an extra goalkeeper that I've forgotten about.
So far, you've got 2, 4, 6, and 10.
Are any of these out of league?
No.
I didn't think there would be because we only just had the first out of league, haven't we? been my first deals with? Clive was this. Yeah, Clive was this. Go on, I'll guess Owen then.
No.
No, I did that before the season. That's annoying.
That's 2 lives gone. No, he was 14.
14. Sorry.
That's 3 lives gone.
Okay, on sudden death then. Ooh. Bishgan.
Number 1.
First one I brought in. Brilliant. Liverani.
No, that's it. So the first 10 transfers processed into Foss Road last season were Igor Bishgan, Franca, Carlos Camara, Rafael van der Vaart, Javier Saviola,
of course it was Saviola, you fucking
Yakubu,
idiot.
Placente, Juan, and Carini.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember them all now. And I don't play really any of them anymore.
No.
Van der Vaart, yeah, the one I actually wanted out of all of them. Well, yeah, I've sent most of them away. Bishkan's gone. Saviola's gone. Yeah, the rest of them in the reserves. Fucking terrible. Well, all right, fair enough then. I'll give you that. So you did better than I would have thought.
By getting 1?
By getting 1, yeah. I'll give you that. Fair enough.
Have you got any more for me, or am I done with my embarrassment?
No. That was my one question based on that save put together.
Okay. Well, we are on 1 hour 23, so I think it's only right that I just give you a couple of quick fire questions to see us through to the 90-minute mark.
You sure you don't want to do another band or not? I've got some real quick band or not ones as well.
No.
Save them for
another day. Yeah. Pick a number, any number.
69.
You know, for the purposes of entertainment and moving things along, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Oh, okay. 6, and then we'll do 9 then.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, top or bottom?
I'm always on the bottom.
Okay. Bottom question on card 6 then. Which football star is on the cover of the FIFA 18 game?
FIFA 18? Rooney.
Incorrect. Cristiano Ronaldo. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
9.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Top or bottom?
Top.
Top. Where was the 2018 FIFA World Cup hosted?
Was that Russia?
It was indeed, correct.
Jesus, I thought I'd fuck like that. That long pause did not help.
A number between 1 and 10?
Number 1.
Number 1, top or bottom?
Top.
Top. Which English football team is nicknamed the Hornets?
It's quite easy, isn't it?
It is.
Watford.
Well done. Yep. Yeah. Well done.
Stop with the big pause in the middle.
1 and 10?
6. Yeah.
4, 5, 6. Top or bottom?
I went bottom last time, so this went top.
Okay. Which team plays football at Rugby Park?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Which team does play at Rugby Park? I don't think I know the answer to that.
Oh, it's Kilmarnock.
That's why I was thinking of an English team. I completely ignored that Scotland existed there. So I apologise to Rocks. It's the only Scottish manager in the Super League that I apologise
to. Number 2 and 10?
Lucky number 7.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Top or bottom?
Bottom this time.
Okay. Name the city in which the Azadi Stadium is found in.
The Azari or Azuri? Azurri.
No, Azadi. Azadi.
Okay, so it's not Italy, where I was expecting to be looking. I know it's city, but I was going to at least narrow down the fucking country. Azadi. Is that Azadi Fields, Mexican? No, it doesn't. No, I'm going to stick with my initial gut instinct as Italy. So, no, because I would have. Fuck off! I don't like this game anymore. Azadi. Nah, Rome.
No, Tehran in Iran.
Oh, fuck off! That is absolutely ludicrous.
1 in 10.
Lucky number 7.
6, 7. Top or bottom?
Bottom.
Okay. Which Premier League team are famous for wearing black and white stripes?
Not County. Next question.
1 in 10.
Obviously Newcastle. Let's go with top 6, because that's where I want to finish in the Super League this year.
Lovely. And who was the first Premier League manager to be sacked?
So, who was doing badly in 92? This is one of those questions that you should probably...
I'll tell you who wasn't doing badly. Leicester and Swindon. But we weren't also Premier League.
Yeah, so that's
yet.
True. All right, one of us.
1993. Playoff final day. And Leicester went to Wembley. They walked down Wembley Way. They thought they'd won it easy. They thought they were going up. And along came Swindon Town that day and fucked the Leicester up. Oh.
Is it a well-known manager?
No. Well, possibly to people who were watching football in that era. The first time I ever asked this question, I had to Google who he was.
Okay. Could you give me a clue as to which team he was managing at the time when he got sacked?
If you can fill the silence for 1 minute while I Google who he is again.
I can go through my thought process. It would have been one of the teams that weren't doing particularly well in 92. So I'm thinking of someone like maybe an Oldham. But that would have been...
Is that not Joe Royal?
Joe Royal, exactly.
Who I would know.
Yeah, I now know that you would have known that name.
Okay, so what I can tell you, looking at this, is he's a Scottish manager.
Okay.
And not a team often associated with being at the bottom of the Premier League.
Yes. So he was the Chelsea manager at the time. Now he's coming back to me. He's
coming back to me.
But his name is not. So initially, I was thinking of Graham Ricks because I was thinking it was the Chelsea manager. I don't know the answer.
If I said that his first name was the same as someone in the Super League, would that help?
Ian Culverhouse. It was Ian Culverhouse. Fyfie.
It wasn't.
Was it not?
No.
It is Ian, though, isn't it? Ian
Ian,
Porterhouse.
yeah.
It's Ian Porterhouse, not Culverhouse.
It's not.
Porterfield.
You're getting closer. Ian Porterfield, yeah.
Porterfield. Fuck up. You see how my brain works there? It's so fucking frazzled that in my head I was like, it's Graham Ricks. The answer's Graham Ricks because it's Chelsea. Somewhere in the depths of my head, I knew it was Chelsea. But I thought it was a blue team, and Oldham got relegated that season, so it must have been Oldham. Just honestly broken. And then I remembered it was an answer I know.
Well, this has been fun. I'll save these cards on the desk for next time, and we can just do more random quick-fire questions for you, because you are the sort of person...
For me to scrabble at, yeah. That you can't finish on one that I didn't get right first time. So I need one more question. Top 6 again. Come on.
Okay.
We're not leaving until I get one right.
Just while I count to 6 to let you know what's coming up soon on Late Limbs. Smuts is trying to arrange Late Limbs Among Us. And on our recording next weekend, we are being joined by Stackington boss Ross, who has prepared a quiz for us. You asked for top 6. I disagree with that answer, so I'm going to do top 6 again. I think that's wrong. I don't agree.
Of course, my internet went out. I was so my internet completely cut out then as you were asking the question. So all I heard was I don't agree.
No, I didn't. I thought the question was actually wrong. I'm disputing the people that made the football quiz. I'm saying got it wrong, so I refuse to ask the question.
Was it was it Swindon and they got relegated? Is that
no? It was where is football thought to have originated, and they said China. I disagree.
Okay.
What type of cat was the official mascot for the 2010 FIFA World Cup?
What type of cat?
Correct.
2010 in Italy, or have I just made that up? I'm really not great with the World Cup trivia. I don't know why. No, hang on. 2010 was South Africa, wasn't it? Fucking hell. So that's going to be... I don't know if is it accidentally racist if I go with like a leopard, because that is one of the...
Well, they would have something African that was native to them, wouldn't it?
That's what I'm thinking of, and one of the African teams is called the Black Leopards, but I think that's Ghana.
Are Ghana not the something stars?
It might be the Black Stars. Well, one of them, there is a team called Black Leopard. I don't know. I'm so tired. Not that question. We can't finish on that question if it isn't.
Well,
leopards.
We can, because leopard was correct.
Is it really? Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Until next time, I'm Fyfie, he's Smuts. We hope you've enjoyed the latest version of Late Limbs. We will. This
is worse than the fucking episode of the Super League we did on Thursday. This was terrible.
We are next scheduled to record, I think, next Saturday, unless we squeeze something in midweek. We will let you know our schedule. Until next time, toodles.
Toodles.